I now call this meeting of the Silver Falls School District Board of Directors to let me say that again. I now call the meeting of the Silver Falls School District Board of Directors to order. And our first order of business is just noting attendance. We are all here, and then we are going to convene an executive session. So I'm going to read a statement, and I'm going to ask everybody who is not media or board members to exit. The Board of Education will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602F, which allows the board to meet in executive session to consider information or records exempt by law from public inspection. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on or otherwise disclose any of the deliberations or anything said about these subjects during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. Everyone attending the executive session should treat the information shared or discussed as confidential and should not reveal it to persons not in attendance at the executive session. No decision may be made in executive session. All right, we are returning into regular open session at this time. I'm going to read a statement. While this is the scheduled time of the year to renew our superintendent's contract, a responsibility we take very seriously, we have an unfortunate announcement to make. Over the past several days, Mr. Drew has informed us he feels the need to resign from the position we know he loves. We would like to thank our superintendent for his tireless work to close the achievement gap for our students. Our school district now has a fully mapped curriculum and comprehensive common standards-based assessment framework. Our teachers are collaborating over data as teams, and this is just one of many reasons why our school district has a solid foundation to build from. We all know that life has been extremely difficult for Scott throughout his time here. The sacrifices he has made on behalf of our students, staff, and community are extraordinary. We wish Mr. Drew nothing but the best in his future endeavors in public education.
Thank you, members of the board. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address the board. I've given every single ounce of my energy to this incredible school district, and it pains me to admit that life has been extremely difficult for me personally over the past 4 years. Therefore, it's with a heavy heart that I must resign and tend to my personal life for the time being before I continue to work as an educational leader. As you heard some of the accomplishments that our board chair read just moments ago, it goes without saying that none of these would have come to fruition without mutual support and collaboration throughout the most challenging era in the history of public education. In July of 2020, I came to Silver Falls School District at a very tumultuous time for the board and at the beginning of the global pandemic. Steering the district through 2 years of restrictions was a monumental effort, and we accomplished this as a board superintendent leadership team. We immediately built a climate of trust, teamwork, and most of all, a culture of feedback. Many of the protocols for communication from that difficult time are now part of our district's standard operating procedures and will continue to be used going forward. Also in my first year, I began the hiring of our district's administrators. It started with the promotion of Leslie Roach as our Director of Teaching and Learning, and then the selection of Sione Thompson as the principal of Silverton High School. That was just the beginning of what would amount to the hiring of over 80% of our school district's administrators, who are all the finest leaders within the districts they came from. In short, the promotion and hiring of our school and department administrators is the accomplishment for which I am most proud, not just in SFSD, but in my entire 27-year career. All things rise and fall because of leadership. Our district's future is very bright because of the leadership team that is now in place. My area of expertise has always been focused on teaching and learning. Over the past 4 years, our school district now has a fully mapped standards-based instructional model, a comprehensive common standards-based assessment framework, and the beginnings of an advanced teacher collaboration structure that sets our district apart from any other in the state of Oregon and beyond. I want to thank my teammates for their tireless effort to make the instructional vision of Silver Falls School District a reality for all students. To my assistant, Debbie Valoff, and to our district office staff and school principals, thank you for bringing your best to this work every day. I would like to thank our teachers and support staff, because without you, there would be no school district to come to. It is because of you that makes Silver Falls such a special place. I've enjoyed every second of getting to know you and will always be your biggest fan. Lastly, to Jennifer, Aaron, Owen, Phil, Josh, and Tom, thank you for the sacrifices you've made to the schools and community you clearly love. Thank you for bringing me here. And know that I love Silver Falls School District as well. I cherish the gift of being able to serve, and I'll be rooting for you as you lead on behalf of our students into the future.
Thank you,
Thank
Scott.
you.
Scott. Madam Chair, I would move that we accept Scott Drew's resignation, subject to the, not subject to, I move that we accept Scott Drew's resignation and that we authorize the board chair to execute the separation and release.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept Scott Drew's resignation and authorize the board chair to execute the separation of release. Is there any discussion? All right, let's vote.
Owen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Josh.
Yeah.
All in favor?
And Scott, you and I will sign at the end of the meeting. We've got one more order
Okay.
of business. Oh, well, actually, no, I'm gonna say something first. So the events that have brought us here tonight have transpired very rapidly. And the board understands the importance of having solid leadership in place. The long-term goal is going to be to hire a permanent superintendent. It is going to take many, many steps before we get there. And there is the potential that we could have several, different folks leading the ship until we get there. So we have to start tonight with somebody that can take the reins tomorrow. And that's where we're at right now. So I hope that the community can be patient as we work through the process, because that'll be the hardest part for us, is to make sure that our process is legitimate and fair, and that we're going to be doing the right thing with our process. So please be patient with us. And our eyes are on the students at this point, and we want to make sure that whatever we do, it's the least disruptive to the district and the operations that support our students. So that's where we're at right now. And does anybody else want to say anything before we?
We can have just some discussion,
Yeah.
I guess now.
Yeah, we can, that's fine.
Okay.
I just would like to echo the patience piece that Jennifer had mentioned, that a lot of this has gone on in a very short amount of time. That ultimately our focus needs to be on our students and continuing the best education we can with them, and that we will work to have this process done in a timely fashion, and to work things out. But I do want to just reiterate and ask members of our community and our teachers and our staff and the rest of our administration just to please, if we can have patience. We will all work hard to ensure stability here in our district long term. But patience is number one, and again, keeping our focus number one on our students.
I just propose to the board members here that, is thinking through who is able to take the reins effective immediately, essentially. The only person in our district that can do that is Dan Bush. And yeah, I just personally, I don't see any other options, and I think, you know, I have full confidence in his ability to do that.
And Dan has done that before. About 5 years ago, he stepped in to that acting superintendent role for a while, so. Okay, I think we're ready.
I move that we appoint Dan Bush as our acting superintendent effective immediately.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that we appoint Dan Bush as our acting superintendent effective immediately. Any further discussion?
Owen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
all in favor.
All right, that concludes our business tonight. Meeting adjourned.